Right before she died of a drug overdose, I had no idea she was taking drugs.
It gets you addicted. I mean, I started out like any drug, just doing it once a week. Then it became twice a week. Then it became almost every night, smoking a little bit. Then it became waking up with it, doing it all day long.
I didn't get to see my daughter, but her dad did.
He was a heroin addict. He, had struggled with heroin for a long time, but he had been clean for a year.
I'm just thinking to myself, like, God, why? Why did you drive?
I looked to the left, and I saw like this white truck, and I couldn't say no. I said, I go, oh, Jesus, like that, and it hit us.
You will be convicted of a felony if you're caught selling this stuff.
And what you don't really realize is that you're putting your life in danger and everybody else around you in danger, and it's just not worth it.
It was 8 minutes from the time the officer left, and that my daughter was killed.
Broke my back at T12, severed my spinal cord, had a punctured lung, a torn diaphragm, and several broken ribs, and that's what left me paralyzed at the waist, and we got a speeding ticket. That's it.
Okay, folks, here we are. After the premiere of episode 244, Lily's story, Lily's light. So I see we have quite a crowd here right now. Thank you all for joining us. I saw Carol Schlick. You never saw us go live. We go live pretty regularly after premieres. They tend to be late afternoon, early evening Central Time because that's where we're at. And so they happen 3-4 times a week, sometimes more. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy's was not only a storyteller. Wendy was also a local event coordinator. It's how we work. That Wendy contacted us asking about us coming to Jacksonville, Florida to record stories, to make these stories. And Wendy made it happen. Wendy found us a place to shoot the interviews and helped us coordinate some of the storytellers and did a really fantastic job with all of that. So I hope you're holding up okay, Wendy. I'm really glad that you're here. You folks that are in the chat, feel free to ask Wendy questions. A healthcare worker, and I love this channel, I'm sure is what you mean. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate hearing that very much. And so, Wendy says, Glenn, thank you so very much for giving us a platform to share our stories. And there's that L. I'm ugly crying, but I'm here. You know, I don't know. I'm sorry you're ugly crying. But I also, there's something. So here's the thing that I tell storytellers after their interview. sometimes, or kind of often, that the last part of a person's life is oftentimes, and maybe every time, someone else's lesson. That's hardly a consolation, but it's important. And here, the story is a lesson for many. It's already reached over 1,000 people, and it'll reach a lot more. So there's that. Sandra Davis says, Rosa says, so what's your job like, Wendy? Is it fun? I think it is fun. It seems like Wendy's job, because we were where she works when we were recording these interviews, and we recorded quite a few while we were there, and then had a great dinner at the end of it all with many of the storytellers who joined us afterwards. So that was way cool. You guys are going too fast. I gotta try to keep up. Sandra Davis says, thank you so much for sharing, Wendy. I can only imagine how hard it was to revisit this, but your courage is helping others in ways you may never fully see. That's for sure. Ashley Lopez says, we also had an amazing dinner after. It was so nice hearing everyone's stories and also meeting a new member as our waitress. Yeah, when we were sitting in this restaurant, there was a group of, 12, 14 of us or so. That it turned out the waitress also lost someone to fentanyl, her sister. I have read before. I know how to read. I pray Lily's story can save other families. It must. It surely will. My town has gone from a beautiful seaside town to a druggy dump. I'm so sadly amazed by the sheer number of victims. I will continue to pray for all. So, Carol, what town is that town? Wendy says yes, and you do get to see her. This place is not our home. She is home. God bless. Dinner was nice. Dinner was great. It was just, it was an enchanted moment. Those dinners, I get to do those dinners in most of the places where we have summits. And they are always, they're always magic times. Most of the time, most of the people at the table just met. And they connect like right away. It's really spectacular the way that those dinners go. And the way that during the recording, during the interviews, there is a waiting room somewhere nearby, sometimes too close. And commenters complain about hearing background chatter. But in that waiting area where people fill out forms and drink coffee and have snacks and visit, some real magic happens there. Jackie K, I'm too... What? Okay. The Jax pack we'll welcome you back anytime, Glenn. Well, thank you. I'm glad to come back. We also have the game now, thanks to you. Yeah, the thing. The thing. People do it and don't realize they do it, and we kind of go round and round with what to do about the to just leave it. Wendy, do you have a link for the GoFundMe that you mentioned for the investigator? If you do, please put it in the chat, and if it doesn't show up, email me. Send it to me by email. The Glenn effect. Yeah, I have that effect on chicks. So email it to me, and I can post it. I think there's got to be a way. So email it to me, and we'll figure out a way to let people know about the GoFundMe thing. Some way. If it doesn't work, to post it here, but try posting it in the chat first. And feel free to, I don't know if you can link to the story on the GoFundMe page, but that could be good. And keep the link to the GoFundMe in with posts that you make about the story. I think that would be a really important thing to do, because clearly there is a tragic, I don't know if I would call it a miscarriage of justice. It seems more like just a neglect of justice. Just deciding it doesn't matter. Having a substantial amount of evidence right in front of them and doing nothing with it. Nothing. So I don't see it, Wendy. I don't see. No. I guess it didn't work. I don't see it. Thank you, folks. Thank you, everyone. Remember the thumbs up thing while you're watching. Just hit that thing. This is the link to Lily's GoFundMe. It's not here. If you send it to me in Facebook Messenger. And in Facebook Messenger, I can copy and paste it. If you send it to me as a text, then I have to do creative stuff to get it from my phone to my computer. So send it to me in Facebook Messenger, and I will paste it in here, and we'll see if I can paste links. Wendy says we've raised enough to hire a private investigator, and he's 100% set on justice. I would think it would be a really good idea to document as much as you can about what happens over the course of, oh my cow, that's a big honking link right there. So to document every step of the way, and we can do a follow-up as things get revealed. It seems like there is some real substantial issues to question with regard to the police department. I'm sure Julie could back me up with that. So here is the GoFundMe link. I will try GoFundMe. Ooh, yeah. I guess I need to spell that right. We can also, oh, it's too long. How about that? All right, folks. There we go. Okay, here is the link. Did that work? Do you guys see that? I see it. Do you guys see the link? Jill sent me a message about a link. Also, good job, Jill. Okay, there you go. There's the link, everyone. So please copy, share, help them out, whatever you guys can do. That'd be awesome. All right. So, does anyone have any questions for Wendy about her story? It really seems like two stories to me. That there is the story of what happened to Lily, and then there's the story of what happened with law enforcement. Wendy, I'd really like to follow your journey to get justice. Get my email from Glenn. I would love to have you as a guest on my upcoming channel. And Julie, if you're in our private Facebook group, so is Wendy. You can find her there as well. And if there's anyone else who would like to be a storyteller, who'd like to share a story with us, you are welcome to join the group too. It is an unlisted group, so you need to contact me for an invite. So, Wendy, some of the people here have talked about wanting to share their story. Can you tell them a little bit about what the experience of sharing your story was like? Julie can tell about the experience too. Wendy highly recommends becoming a storyteller. It isn't hard to do. We have never turned anyone away. It could happen one day, but we haven't turned anyone away yet. Glenn is amazing, and it is healing as well as empowering. I think so too. People sometimes ask me, how do you sit and listen to all this tragedy without breaking down, without losing your mind? And it's like Wendy said, I felt relief for letting it out finally. And I know that's coming. I know that going through the process of sharing the story helps people heal. I see it. I get to see it happen. And so it's not hard for me to sit through these stories, to walk a storyteller through this pathway that involves the worst thing that has happened to them in their entire lives, for most of them. And I can do that I don't know, saying I can do it with enthusiasm doesn't sound right. Well, I can find joy in doing that because I get to see that reward. I get to see how they are afterwards. And I get to put that magic little gift in their hand when we're done. Glenn, thank you, John. Thank you. I was able to be a voice for Lily. Yes, that is. Yeah. Elaine Gray said, I was going to go back and watch your story, but I didn't want to miss this live. You can get back to it later. You can get back to the story later tonight. You can do it tomorrow. It is published now, and I can tell you how it's doing even. So far, where are we at? So far, the story has had over 3,000 views. Wendy, do you hear that? Over 3,000 views for Lily's story. That's reaching a lot of people. Julie says it's easier than people think. Julie's a storyteller. It's your story, and you know it better than anyone. Wendy does what I do, looking up when we are thinking. I did the same. Yeah, she did. She did. Wendy, I will definitely go back when it's over, sending you love from Elaine Gray. Thank you, Sandy. Glenn makes it all possible. Nobody realizes how many are taken by fentanyl, and Glenn is bringing light to that fact. Hundreds every day. It is amazing. It is 3,289 right now. And that is 24% higher than our average for a newly published story. Is there going to be another film? Another film. We typically publish these stories pretty much every other day. Once in a while, there'll be a story every day, a fentanyl-related story, and then maybe the next day it could be a recovery story, and then another fentanyl story. It kind of varies, but typically we try to publish every other day, and it really seems like publishing around this time tends to work best. I would welcome any feedback from you guys about what times are good to do this. We try. Oh, look, it's my wife calling. How about that? And so I should probably figure out why she's calling. But anyway, a follow-up would be great, Wendy. Yes, let's do a part 2. Okay, Wendy. It seems like the part 2 needs to be further in on the investigation. But here's the thing about the investigation. We're just a lowly YouTube channel, but we have a kind of reasonably good size audience, and I know that there's members of our audience that are members of the press, and I know that there are members of our audience that are elected officials. And so we can shine a little bit of light that can create just a little bit of pressure. Not a lot. We're not big. We're in a beautiful spot in the number of people we can reach. And so we can apply just a little bit of pressure. Like we can try contacting the law enforcement agency for input. We can ask them things. And what'll happen typically, we've done this 6 or 7 times now, and what typically happens is nothing. We get no response at all. In fact, there's only been one law enforcement agency that responded to us, and that was the Newport Richey Police Department in Florida, and they were great. The chief of police called me, and we talked a while and sorted out how best to represent their perspective on the case that the story was about. We did it very fairly. We are long-term friends with law enforcement. We've done a lot of work for the Houston Police Department. They're one of our clients. And we've also done work for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, with doing projects that involve interviewing law enforcement officers all over the country. And so I have a lot of experience. I have my own bulletproof vest. It's way cool. When I put it on, I get taller. My IQ goes down a little bit, but I get taller. So it kind of seems like a fair trade. So anyway, let me see where I'm at here. Ashley Lopez, Wendy, I appreciate you, girl. I found this channel because I have an addicted child. I am armed with Narcan and have had to use it. My child is still here, so there's hope. Thank you, Glenn, and all the storytellers. It's wonderful that your child is still here and you're aware of the circumstances, you're on it. Now, Canine Screed, I don't know what to make of that name, but okay. So, Canine. We also have a series of addiction recovery stories that you might find interesting. You can find it in our playlist. I think there's about 40 of them. And they are cool because they have thank you, Julie. The recovery stories are cool because they are stories of victory. And it means a lot to me to have some stories of victory, because in the comments on the stories about fentanyl poisoning, we often hear from people who are in recovery, or we hear from people who just want to be in recovery. And being able to point them to the recovery series is a great way to spread some hope. To say, here, watch some of these. Here's people who have been through it and can give you some insight that no one else has. Only people who have been through it have this kind of insight, and it has great value for those struggling in recovery or those just wanting to be in recovery. Let me see where I'm at. I think I missed stuff. Sandra Davis, I'd love to see a part 2. Wendy has created a momentum that has a strong following. It's important to keep that energy going. Yes, I agree on the investigation follow-up, Julie says. Wendy K9, I am so sorry for what you and your family is going through. I'm glad you know the benefits of Narcan, please know that you can reach out to me anytime. Kyle Evans, I just wanted to say thank you for putting these stories out. I'm grateful. I am a grateful recovering addict, currently in recovery, and these stories are very powerful and helping to stop the stigma of addiction. So, Kyle, like I was saying a minute ago, there's a whole series of recovery stories as well, and they have happy endings and great insight, and they're recovery stories from all different kinds of people. It's really awesome. I want to say there's a little over 40 stories in that series, and it's in our playlists. And we have more to add. We just haven't gotten to edit them yet. Brenda always says such wonderful things about our work. Canine, God used Glenn and the storytellers to make me quit my 5-year fentanyl habit. I am on day 256, and life is getting better each day. That's a victory. That's a story of victory. Love those. So Julie sent 5 Texas Pictures Documentaries gift memberships, which is awesome. So Bo Morgan, Andrea McCutcheon. Andrea, I know you, right? Right? Funny Bones, F. Lovejoy, and Angelina ATF. What happened? And Charlie Sowerby. Thank you guys so much for being here. It really means a lot. K9, you're in Massachusetts. We've had a few inquiries from Massachusetts about having us come there to interview, to shoot interviews, and so it could happen if I don't know when it could happen. Right now on the schedule we have Kansas, Denver, Portsmouth, Virginia, and Seattle, Washington. And those are the big main ones. We also have a lunch, just going to be a lunch thing in Oklahoma City. I think the date is June 15th. So it's good and centrally located. But it's going to happen. It's going to be some of the regulars, some of our usual suspects who show up in the group are going to join us, and there will be some other Brad. So, Brad, we're still sorting out where we're going to do this lunch, but we need to coordinate it. And June 15th, I believe that's a Sunday. We need to make it happen. Okay, all right. Let me see where I'm at. I'm catching up. Lily lived in New Hampshire. That's right. And Ashley Lopez is also from Massachusetts. Brad and his 5-year plan. Yeah. K9 knows Kingston. Been there many times. I do not know Kingston. I had to do a bit of research. Oh, you know that little town, horrible police department. Clearly, must be. Hello, Deidre. Wendy Parrish, great job, Brenda. Skipping my senior day at the casino. Senior day at the casino. Huh, okay. I don't know what that is. K9 says it sounds like it. Thankfully, I've never dealt with them. Lori, that's a new name. That looks like a new name there. Where did it go? Lori Pressland, thank you for all your efforts and thanks for sharing your stories. A channel like this is so important. Thank you. I hope it's important. I feel very blessed to get to do work like this, and I'm in such a sweet spot because we don't have any clients. We don't have any grant money, no sponsors, no nothing. And so we don't have any accountability. If you have a grant, there is this crazy level of reporting between you and the grant writer or the grant or the grantor. And you have to follow guidelines, and we don't have to do any of that. All we are accountable to is our audience and the storytellers. And YouTube a little bit, I suppose, because we have to follow their guidelines. But it is such a sweet spot to be able to create content, create stories that just need an audience. They just need to be stories that matter. So it's very much living the dream for me. If you come to Massachusetts, if you need any help at all with anything, I'd be honored. Kana, if the best way when we have these events, we always announce them on our channel, and we also have a private Facebook group, and we announce everything in the Facebook group first. And whenever we hear from someone who wants to share their story, we encourage them to join the Facebook group. We'll send them an invite or whatever. And we encourage them to join because whenever we do have an event that's in their area, they get first crack at signing up and they get first notice and all of that. And so I can probably post a link for a few people to join the group. You just give me a minute. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, K9. We're having major storms here in southern Oklahoma this evening, so I'm not sure how long I'll be here, y'all. Y'all? Yeah, we use y'all too. Well, I hope everything passes calmly. Well, gee, Deidre, I can help you contact Wendy for sure. And I believe, Wendy, can't you do you have a link for Lily's Light, Wendy? And Carla's here. Always great to see you here, Carla. You're going to make the lunch right when June in the middle Sunday, June 15th, I believe. If I have missed anyone's question or if I've missed anyone's comments or questions, please repeat them. There's a lot going on over here, and sometimes I lose track. So I was just talking about your beautiful rain tonight. Always sending love to you. From Wendy. Brad says that Melody says, hi, Carla. Julie, Carla, I was thinking of Rain's dad being in the military. Thank you for thinking of Rain and sharing the story. That means a lot. Yes, I will get that. Yes, I'll be there if I'm still alive. Carla, knock it off. Come on, Carla. Carla, you're important to a lot of people. People count on you. So, of course, you'll still be alive. Julie says, "You're welcome, Carla. I watched your video again the other evening. Another rainy day will never go by without me thinking of rain. Rainbows do it for me. Rainbows always make me think of rain and Rain's story." Okay, so I don't know if you guys can hear that, but one of the dogs is just losing his mind outside for some reason. I'm hoping God comes to get me soon. No, my heart just misses Rain so much. People need you, Carla. Julie, if you're in our Facebook group, you can find Carla there also. But I'm glad to do the email thing. I'm just saying that you can find Carla in the group. Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you too, Glenn. Yeah, it's a thing. Seeing a rainbow just, and so yeah, you're right, Lori. Grief is love with nowhere to go. I don't know what's going on with the dogs. And ding, I got a message here from oh my gosh. So just let me just give me a second here. Okay, let me catch up. Okay, my wife is asking me if I want her to bring something home for dinner. So my so yes, Brad's right. We all need Carla. Carla, you inspired me to speak up and keep saying Lily's name. You are needed. Okay. Carla, you're here for a reason. Okay. Do some barbecue ribs. Actually, I'm doing this fajita thing. This is Texas. Mexican food's big here. Used to be part of Mexico. So go figure. Carla, what's in his cup? It is espresso. I don't know. I don't know why the dogs are barking. Maybe that little message to the dogs will get them to settle down. We'll see. It does. It does. I've only ever been apprehensive about my coffee when someone brings up cyanide. Yeah, they're ferocious. They're just ferocious. A little Shih Tzu and whatever else. Julie, I'm dating a retired captain from the Marines. I would love to chat. So is that a uniform thing, Julie? I just got to ask. Wendy, I appreciate everyone being here and for all your work, Glenn. No cyanide. But there was in the interview this talk of cyanide during the interview with Wendy when she was talking about why it's a poisoning instead of an overdose. She did the coffee example, and while she's explaining that, I'm sitting behind the camera holding a cup of coffee that she helped me with, or came from her coffee machine, and so it was really a little bit of a funny moment. So I could probably figure out a way to play it here, I think. But I don't know. Let me see where I'm at. Carla, Brenda says Carla had to raise, I had to raise myself and my little sister because my mother lost her firstborn and she checked out. What did that get me? Active addiction. That was for Carla. What? No. Okay, you can reach out to me anytime. Absolutely. Carla has a big heart. I'm not a badge bunny. Yes, I know. You told me that in the interview, Julie. You say you're not a badge bunny. So, a uniform bunny. Is there such a thing? Yeah, I just got to give you grief. I do need a refill. I do. It's about empty. It's a complicated espresso machine, and it's not like there's anyone here at Texas Pictures World Headquarters who knows how to work the machine really, except me. So, but it'll be fine. And holy cow, it is almost 9 o'clock here, and so how much more coffee should I drink? I know. Wendy, I think there's a fair chance that some kid from that night will eventually speak up. that there is conscious. Most people have some sort of conscious, and as time passes, it becomes easier to share things, or it becomes too painful to keep things secret. And so there is there's a chance, if you'd like, we can email them and invite them to share their perspective on the story. We could do something like that. Not likely to be productive, but we can try it. Let's see. Dad, did you get a coffee mug? I don't know. I don't know if he did. I know. Is it good to the last drop? Of course it is. It is harsh, bitter, dark, strong. It's awesome. Glenn helped me make a very heavy situation lighter. Thank you. Thank you. Brenda says, Carla, I love you and will always credit you, Rain, and Brad for saving my life. But my singular goal is to save kids. Your living kids are at the top of my list. Well, that's a good place for them to be. Glow in the dark, thank you for joining us. Good to see you here again. I don't know how long you've been here, but thank you for being here. Hoping to when he gets into wow, that's not a hint at all. Carla is all heart, which is why her pain is so palpable. Of course. Okay. Wow. Okay. This is getting tough. Brenda, I'm trying to promise my best. I'm behind. Hoping to. Carla is all heart. Okay, I know Carla is an awesome mom. Carla has a special place in my heart. Brad, did you get the black coffee cup? It doesn't show grinds. It stays clean all the time. All the time. It's pricey, but that's because it's like self-cleaning or something. You know? I mean, look at that. Look at that. All clean inside. Huh? Isn't that awesome? Okay, so caffeine is considered a drug. Well, yes, it is. I really hope that as they mature and have children of their own, they will be ready to tell the truth. It seems to me like it's just going to take one. And so we'll see. I hope it's before they have kids of their own. Because it's the kind of thing that will weigh on kids that just did a stupid young thing. Carla says, Brenda, I promise I'm trying my best for my kids here. They're the reason, my reason for living. We're all glad you're here, Carla. Brad, I did not know that, I guess, about caffeine being a drug. Carla, what's the name of your Facebook page? Brad, so is nicotine. I'm going to stay addicted to both caffeine and nicotine. Wow, could you imagine if someone responded? You mean if we were to contact the people that were at the party and got a response from someone, that would be a little bit of a surprise. But we can certainly try that. We're happy to try it. It would just be sending an email, and I don't know, but glad to try. Canine, wow, could you make? Yes. Glow in the dark. Only secret is the secret place with the Father above when praying. Wendy, yes, let's try emailing them. I'll try anything. Brad says Brenda should get on the 5-year plan. I still don't. I still don't really understand Uncle Buck. Oh yeah, that's right. I do. I did know that. Brad, I want to try a 5-year plan, but I can't make it through the insufferable movie Uncle Buck. Yes, the party people. Emails. It could be that some of the party people have already seen the story. Right now, let me see where the story is at. Right now, Lily's story has, where are we at? Here we are. Lily's story has had 4,943 views so far. According to YouTube analytics, it is reaching a wider audience, and that is contributing to 33% more views than usual for our channel. Now it's at 4,962. It'll break 5,000 pretty soon. Wendy, I appreciate everyone's time and support. Glenn, I can't thank you enough for bringing Lily's story to light. I'm grateful to you, Wendy, for all that you did to bring this story and all of the other stories that we shot in Jacksonville to light. That you were instrumental in getting us there, and you made everything so very easy before, during, and after. Just all the way through the process. It was great. We're really grateful for all of the work that you did. Julie says, Wendy, these kids are talking somewhere amongst themselves. Facebook, Snapchat, maybe the PI can get in there. Click as one of them. That's good, devious investigative thinking there, Julie. That's good. Carla says, Wendy, your daughter is beautiful. She is. She certainly is. And I'm just kidding. They may be watching. Best to ask one strong person to do the right thing. Wendy knows that they are here in the shadows. Now that's there is a do the right thing, and then there is just the thing that morons do. They brag, or they'll want to impress someone and tell a story and wind up giving things away. Brenda says, thanks to Wendy and Lily, we are getting fentanyl awareness out there. It's awesome. It will not be lost in the sauce. So I am just catching up. Okay. There we go. Sorry. Just had to check that because I've got food. Okay. Lily's story is over 5,100 views now. That's wonderful. I welcome the morons. Now, even if they report something anonymously, that is something we could do too. I'm not sure what kind of incentive there would be other than integrity. Good point, Julie. Trolls, stalkers, bullies, lurkers, bring them all on. We can educate them. Okay, so here's the thing about trolls, stalkers, bullies, and lurkers. They probably have some sort of trauma too. You're not born a moron. You grow into it. And it could be because of some trauma, something that happened, I'm so grateful that her story is getting out there. It is getting out there in a substantial way. It is reaching a lot of people. I haven't looked at any of the comments yet, but there's bound to be quite a few. And there will be many more over the next few weeks and months. So, I'm sorry. Just beauty and what? I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Sorry, just had some weird blinky thing happen. Why? Wendy looks so much like you. Yeah, I'm sorry, Wendy, she looks so much like you. Carla says, Beauty and the Beast, Vera. Hello, I just finished watching Lily's story. It was absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, it is. It is. I spent yesterday and today working on it, and honestly, the premiere is the first time I watched it all the way through. I've been editing on it the rest of the time, so that typically never involves watching it all the way through. It's watching 10, 20, 30 seconds or maybe more, and then going back and making adjustments, and then going. It's a slow process. And that's the process. I can listen to stories when we do the interviews. I can do that all day long. Rarely, if ever, get choked up because I know the good that it's doing for the storyteller. But when I'm editing and it's just me and the computer and a couple of screens and the storyteller's face, that's when I get choked up. If it starts getting to me too much, I'll just stop a little while. Go make more coffee. Let me see where I'm at. Hello, Wendy Parrish. You are an incredible auntie. She was lucky to have you. And Julie said, yes, but there are no excuses for what they did, putting Lily in that parking lot. There is no excuses. Absolutely right. That is a shameful thing. And so what that means, though, is likely there was one or two alpha type people in the group that came up with that idea, and everyone else went through some torment but didn't do anything and still deal with some torment for having said nothing. Yes, Julie. Yes, it's actually cathartic to watch your video. Be proud. Yeah, Julie, it's also pretty cathartic for others to watch your video too. Thank you, Beauty and the Beast, Wendy says. You see where we're at here. We've been live for a little bit over an hour now. And so I wanted to take a minute to remind you guys, because I always do this. And so I know a lot of you have already seen this graphic, but I like to put it up just for a moment. So anyone new who talks about Narcan, I want you to remember this. All of these are equally effective, and only one says Narcan. The key thing is naloxone. Every box in this picture contains naloxone. Only one box says Narcan. So it's important to remember that Narcan is just a brand name. The drug is called naloxone. Okay, so there's my little spiel about that. Beauty and the Beast says you did a great job. Watch all your videos all the time. I watch all these stories with my 3 daughters who are 13, 16, and 17, and it has helped me explain and show how scary and dangerous pills from anyone is. That's wonderful. Here's the thing. One of the we hear from parents who get their kids to watch our stories fairly regularly. There was one parent. It's a little bit devious. Her kids were a little bit younger, but she would play our stories in the car when they're running errands or going wherever. When she has a captive audience. And so oh, that was weird. Sorry. I got distracted, Bright lights, shiny stuff. So, yeah, playing the videos in the car, just hearing them through the car sound system, like if you have Pandora or Apple Music or whatever. The same kind of way. You can play it on your phone and the sound comes through the speakers. And even though I definitely want people to watch, at least people who aren't driving, because we do have a documentary about distracted driving on our channel as well that we made around 6 or 7 years ago now. We made for AAA. So, but what a great trick. Another trick that parents sometimes do is they will show the I'm losing my place here. Sorry. There it is. Okay, sorry. So another thing that people sometimes do is they won't ask their kids to watch a story so that the kid can tell the parent how accurate they think the story is, where the parent is empowering the kid to scrutinize the story and asking the kid for feedback, for input, so that they, meaning the parent, can learn from it. So the end result is the child watches the story and watches it while feeling empowered and being treated like an expert by the parent and waiting for feedback from the child, that the parent is wanting to know what insight the child so it's a great tool, because the end result is the kid watches the story. Beauty, your 3 girls will tell their friends, and you're saving many children. Thank you and God bless. Thank you, Julie. The distracted driving videos you did was crazy and impactful. Yeah, that was quite an adventure. The project is called the documentary is called Sidetracked, and then there are a few shorter stories that are sort of excerpts out of Sidetracked, but the full documentary is called Sidetracked, and we made it for AAA, working with the Houston Police Department and AAA. They actually love watching the stories and getting an inside look of who each person was. That's very cool. That's awesome. Glow in the Dark says, yes, I've never seen them, but I would like to. And yes, thank you for what you do. Excellent documentaries by Texas Pictures Documentaries. Thank you, Wendy. Yeah, Sidetracked is on our channel. I think I can probably muster up a link that I can share, because holy cow, it is an important topic to share with young drivers. That's a huge deal. And so let me just figure out how hard this is going to be. Wow, okay. All right, so I'm getting it. Hold on. Okay, so here is the link to Sidetracked, the distracted driving documentary. There you go. All right, so the work you do here is very, very important. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Vera. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me, and to the rest of the team. It is. I feel so blessed to get to do this kind of stuff. I really do. Julie says, every time I start to reach for my phone in the car, I remember your videos and stop myself. Good job. Okay, so Vera says, can I ask what made you start doing these stories? Was it just because it was a space that needed filling, or did this impact someone close to you as well? I'm sorry if it's too personal. Okay, there is no too personal here. Not for me. So no, I haven't. I haven't lost anyone close to fentanyl. But now I have a ton of close friends like Wendy who have. So the way that it started is the DEA hired us to do stories like this during a family summit here in Houston for families that had lost someone to fentanyl. And when we did that, we created 14 or 15 stories during that 2-day event. And when we did that, we started putting the stories on our YouTube channel, which we had for like 13 years. And during all that time, we racked up about 1,600 subscribers, because all we had ever used the channel for was as a way to kind of showcase our work. And when we started posting those stories, they really took off. And so it seemed like it seemed like we had to keep doing it. Like, it was obviously an urgent thing, and it was being neglected, and so we kept doing it. We started creating our own events. We call them storytelling summits, and we started creating our own events to record more stories. And so over the course of the last 2.5 years or so, we have been all over the United States. These are the places we've been. And on this map, I'm sure Wendy will jump right out and point out that there are 3 stars missing from northern Florida for Jacksonville, Pensacola, and Cocoa Beach, which would be kind of more East Coast. But these are the places that we have been to record stories, and they all started the same way. They all started with one person at each location who wanted us to come there and contacted us, asked us to. That's really all it takes, is wanting to do the bit of effort it takes locally, finding us a place to record the interviews, finding us a place that works, and wanting us to. That's really all it takes. Vera says, it's just an incredible idea. I love these stories. They are sad, but I love them because it's getting inside to people who are gone too soon. Yes, Wendy. Yes, I know. I need to add Northeast Florida. I need to add Jacksonville. I need to add Pensacola and Cocoa Beach. So on our website, there is, if you go to the homepage on our website, not the YouTube channel, not the Facebook stuff, but our website, which is texas-pictures.com. On the homepage of our website are several links. There's a link to a page that will tell you how to organize a storytelling summit in any area. It explains what kind of space we need and how it all works. There's another page that explains what the storyteller experience is like, what kind of material we need from you, what's going to happen, how long it tends to take, and things like that. And then there's also a link that will take you to our merchandise, our store. It's kind of weird to me having a store, but we have one. It's got t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and you know, coffee mugs like this. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool, right? I think it's way cool because it stays clean. It's overpriced. It is. I say it's like $16 or $17. There is a discount code that escapes me at the moment, but it's available to members, and I can hook you all up if you want. So all of that is on our website. Having a store means more advertising, and that will get more awareness and maybe change more lives. Yeah, it all of that helps us stay sustainable. And we have a store because we have a YouTube partner manager, and she said we should have a store. So we have a store. And for some reason, the store is no longer connected to our channel. Doesn't make sense to me, but that's the way it is. But the link on our website takes you straight to our store, which is on a service called Spring, like Spring T-shirts or something. And we are in the process of setting up a new store with a different vendor that hopefully is a little easier to understand what's happening with all that. So just water, Brad. Assuming if you're here, if you're still here, Brad, I know it's late, and you know, that's okay. But I appreciate you being here so that I'm not the oldest guy in the room. But it is about time to wrap it up. We've been here over 80 minutes. I can tell you where Lily's story is now. Maybe. Right now, Lily's story has over 6,000 views. And 6,000 views is 34% more views than typical for our channel. And YouTube also says that Lily's story is the viewers are watching it longer. They're continuing to watch longer than average. Not everyone makes it to the end of our stories or any other video on YouTube, but more people are watching longer than usual. So that's very cool. That's way cool. In fact, okay, so I'm wearing a thing. This is not on our store and will never be on our store. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now that is just for storytellers. I mean, I think I count as a storyteller, you know? So that's kind of cool, right? And on the back is a bigger version. And usually, this is an older one. Now the t-shirts that we give to storytellers have a QR code in the center of the logo that will take people directly to the channel. Esther is a late arrival. I hit the like button on my way in. Thank you very much. Coping and encountering success. Yes, we are. I try to watch the whole thing. Cindy says, "Thank you very much, Cindy. That means a lot. It's way cool when we get comments from people and in the comments from viewers on the story, and in the comments we find something in the comment that makes a reference to some bit of information that was near the very end of the story. That always makes me feel good because it means that they watched the whole thing. Thank you, Vera. Yeah, I think the shirt's kind of cool. I think I don't know if I can. I feel like it'd be pretty goofy to stand up, turn around, and squat to get my back in the right spot. Well, but we'll try here, okay? So I don't know that even worked. I couldn't see any of the monitors, but that's how the back is. Cindy Bennett, I absolutely love your videos. Very informative. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that very much. And so, anyway, like I was saying a second ago, it is just about time to wrap things up here. But I'm very grateful for all you guys being here. Is there any final questions before we wrap this up this time? I don't know what our next story is going to be right now. We have two that are in the queue. I know that at least one of the stories is from Florida. The other one, I'm not sure. And so it'll be one of those, and it ought to be a premiere that happens on Wednesday. So I'm going to I will give you guys a link since we're talking about the store. So here is a link to the Texas Pictures store. And in the store there is stuff with the Texas Pictures logo, the banner logo, and there's stuff like the coffee mug that I showed you guys. And then there's also a similar coffee mug that has a fentanyl awareness graphic on it on one side and our logo on the other. And there's a couple of t-shirts that have t-shirts or hoodies or, well, I don't know if there's a hoodie or not. But there is a t-shirt that has a fentanyl awareness graphic on it that is a python. I would show it to you if I could figure out how to do that, but it has a python, and the idea behind that is that fentanyl can strike without warning. That's the logic behind it. And my stepson designed the graphic. He's a graphic designer by trade. He actually earns a living at it. And so, glow in the dark, how can we get this type of information in the schools more? I need to connect and help here in Florida. Wow, this is magic. I have more coffee now. It's fine. It's good. So this is an important thing about getting into schools. Getting into schools is no small task. There's a lot of schools out there that just don't want to talk about it. But I can understand why they don't want to talk about it because of nut job parents. None of you, of course. There's no nut job parents in the audience, I'm sure. But they're out there. And these nut job parents tend to overreact. So their kid comes home from school and says, hey, we had a presentation today about drugs. Then some nut job parents will freak out and start contacting the school and say, well, is there a drug problem at the school? Do I need to take my kid out of the school? Do I need to move my kid to some other school? What kind of drug thing you got going on there? Why do you need to tell my kid? And they go all nut job on administrators, on the district, on principal, on whoever. And so the school just wants the easy path, the quiet path. So some cool things you can do to try to get into schools to give presentations is first show up at school at the PTA or whatever parent meetings they have. There's also school board meetings. You can do that. You can make yourself a little bit of a pain in the ass, and that can work. You can also go in with statistics. You can go in with a map that shows where around the school there's been drug arrests. You could go in with Snapchat and show them using Snapchat where within walking distance of the school you can go get drugs right now. So all of that can be a way to get a school to open their doors, but it's still asking a lot of a school because they have to deal with nut job parents. It's a thing. Good night, K9. So, and I'm going to say good night too. Look, we managed to make it over 90 minutes again. But guys, please feel free to check out our store. I think it's cool. I have this dream that one day I'm going to just stumble across someone in public wearing one of our shirts. I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, this mug right here, it is $18.99. I wonder. I'd like to figure out what I don't remember what the discount code is. Okay, so here is the discount code. Thank you, Wendy. Here's a discount code that'll get you 25% off of anything on our store. Or it should. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll fix it. Here's the code. That's it. TPD members. Right there. You should be able to enter that code and get 25% off your order. How's that? That's cool, right? I forget about it. Having a store is kind of weird to me. That's not, I don't know. I'm a video guy. So there's that. And I think that's going to be about it for tonight. Very grateful for you guys joining us. I'm hearing clicky noises on my phone. What are you telling me, Julie? Students, administrators fighting fentanyl in Arizona schools. Cool. Stories like that. Julie's right. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us. We're about to wrap it up here, though. So, Julie, that's another way to figure out ways to get into schools is to Google it, to search YouTube search for news reports for how other organizations or how other presenters of whatever kind have gotten into schools. There's a lot of solutions out there. So, hello, Sandra. Thank you for being here. God will provide. Okay, folks. So, I really want to remind you guys, stress to you guys, that first, that we have our Facebook page. And on our Facebook page, you can, if you would like to be a storyteller at some point, you are welcome to join. I just got to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I always miss you on here. Wow. Tulsa, Oklahoma on purpose? I'm kidding. I've heard that Texas has a great debt to Oklahoma. Brad knows what I'm talking about. So if you would like to be a storyteller at some point and would like to join our private Facebook group, I'm going to share a link to do that. And I don't know how well it's going to work or how long it's going to work, but we'll do our best. So here is the link. I drive trucks, so I'm always on the road. So this is the link to join our Facebook group. It's a private group. This link should get you in if you have an interest in being a storyteller. Members of the group are primarily people who have shared stories with us or people who want to share stories with us, want to share a story with us. So just about anyone that you've seen a story shared on our channel, anyone who's shared a story on our channel is probably in the group. The group has 540 members or so, and about half of them are storytellers, and the other half are people who want to be storytellers, except there is also a couple of members of the Texas Pictures team, and there is a couple of law enforcement officers who are friends of mine who have an interest in the kind of work that we do. And then there's a couple of addiction counselor type folks. So it's a great group and everybody helps each other. It's very cool. Bear with me, like on a real TV station or something, there is one person who's dedicated to doing things like bringing up graphics, and one person who's dedicated to monitoring the audio, and one person who's dedicated to, finding links and seeing how things happen. That's not here. It's just me. So Chris says, my dad passed away, overdosed on Xanax when I was 17. I went down a dark road for several years and have been clean for 10 plus years now. Very good, Chris. And so you're probably already aware that we have a series of addiction recovery stories on our channel as well. There's a whole playlist that has about, I want to say there's 41 or 42 stories in the series. And it's still growing. We keep adding more. We have several more shot that we just haven't been able to we haven't been able to do the editing yet. So, anyway. So, once again, I'm very grateful for you guys being here and for joining us in these live events. It's easy to get just kind of carried away with it and ramble on. And I really appreciate all the things you guys share in the chat and how you guys tend to kind of rally together and support each other. It's a wonderful thing. So we are going to wrap it up for now because I feel pretty confident that the battery on the camera is going to crap out. Wendy, you're killing me. Okay, so the awards that are behind me over here on this side, those are Telly Awards, which are like industrial versions of Emmy Awards, kind of, sort of. And they are, they're for different video productions. And then over here, this award right here, this silver square thing, is a over 100,000 subscriber award from YouTube. So that's cool. That's probably the coolest one of the bunch. And there's other stuff. There's awards from film festivals and things like that. So Chris says, now I have twin girls who just turned 3 and I'm the main provider for my family and happy with the cards God has dealt for me. That's a sweet spot to be in. It's important to find a way to be happy with wherever you're at. There's always something in your life to be grateful for. Yes, great job, Chris. All right. So I keep trying to do this, and you guys keep throwing stuff out there, but it is about time to wrap it up. I really appreciate you guys being here and participating, especially Wendy, really stepping up and sharing so much. Thank you, Carla. Thank you for being here, Sandra. You're being humbled. The Telly Awards are a prestigious annual award that honors excellence in video and television. Okay, I see Sandra's been doing some Google searches or something, but yeah. I think the coolest thing about the Telly Awards for me is when it's a project where it wins an award and we get an extra trophy to give to the client or the storyteller or whatever. That's a cool thing. Not everyone got to get to North Dakota by Wednesday morning. Holy cow. Love the road trips. I do. So drive safe, watch that distracted driving documentary before you get out on the road. But thank you all for joining us. I want to share with you, as I usually do at the end of one of our live events, this information. This is how to reach us. You can email me at info@texas-pictures.com. You can find us on Facebook. We're also on TikTok, and our website is texas-pictures.com, where you can find out more about Texas Pictures, more about how to make a storytelling summit happen, and all kind of cool stuff. So thank you very much for joining us, and we will talk to you guys again next time. Good night.